drafts on his screen. There they are, as we see for FPX. You know, got the Tristana, Elise, Renekton, so incredibly potent soul lanes with jungle. On the side of NIP, you know, got more poke, got more disengage coming out with the Jayce and Varus. So I think two very explosive compositions, especially for FPX, which, like, if it gets ahead, it can just crush you in snowball, and if it falls behind, it can be quite rough. All the eggs in the Zeri basket with really no way to protect the Zeri.
Yeah, can be a tough one if the Zeri ends up going down the Tristana. A potential threat there in the mid lane. I'm excited to see what Care can do with a champion that really has a lot of individual impact, but can go both ways with that individual impact, right? Sometimes you see Tristana's carrying, sometimes they go a little bit too deep. Pout, though, on the Gragas. We see another Gragas mid. It's not been super successful, it has to be said, in the LPL. We'll see how Pout can do with it.
Everyone seeing Faker do something and thinking that they themselves want to do it and realizing, hey, again, he's Faker. You just let him do his thing and you figure out your own thing, and then you both have your own things that are successful, and you're both just known for, you know, you're not known for being bad at mid lane Gragas. I think that's better for everybody.
Yeah. Or not necessarily for Care. This is better for Care.
Yeah, that's true.
If the Gragas doesn't work out for Pout.
But
almost everybody.
Like you said, Care, I really feel like we will have to see Hacker and him link up and him be the explosive one. It's also why I didn't include him, and like, if they fall behind, they'll have him to rely on, because Astrostana, typically you want to be playing aggressive, you want to look for these all-ins, so that typically goes one way or the other. You're either finding kills and snowballing, or you're just falling behind, or even giving over kills if you're just going a bit too far in to be able to make these happen. Gragas is a good champion, I think, to deny some of that to come about. Sure, you're going to lose in terms of CS in the mid lane. You at least have your barrel, like your Q at the range, to be able to try to sneak back some farm. And if she ever rocket jumps on top of you, you have your belly bop, you have your ult to be able to hit her away. So definitely feels like there's a lot of options for Pout to not just get steamrolled in this mid lane matchup unless Hacker's able to find a massive influence.
Definitely agree with that one. I'm just glad that we get the Lee Sin Elise matchup back. I feel like Lee Sin Elise is always so much fun to watch, because you're pretty much always going to see some early shenanigans out of these two junglers. They're going to want to get in those lanes and really influence the early game. And it feels like for Elise, it's the game of, you know, the first few levels and snowballing that. Whereas Lee Sin, you know, not the greatest scaling champion, but scales better than Elise.
It's one of those weird ones where, like, Elise's damage late is still good, like you can burst them out just fine, but it's just like, it's your play pattern, and you're a squishy champion, having to go in like range to be able that you can be taken down. It's very hard to make work.
And it's one of those things as well where it's like, you know, Lee Sin's kick is never not used. If you can find a big kick, it doesn't matter when in the game it is. That's always going to be something special. And Shalabao, fantastic Lee Sin, has to be said. It's Invincible, great bit of trading to start this one off. Fearness still level 1 on the Renekton, so won't be able to do much about it, but should be able to sweep most of this wave up. Might actually find himself a CS advantage. Invincible only 7 CS off of the first couple of waves.
But this is what you pick this for, right? The setup coming out through for jungle, so maybe Invincible can be punished, but Ward spotting out Hacker means that won't come through. So we already know for Hacker, it's about playing up towards these top 2 lanes. Sure, you have Prio and bot lane that, I mean, theoretically you could maybe like invade or get some deep vision, but I don't really think there's anything tangible you can turn that into. It's about really enabling the Renekton and the Tristana to come through, to where for Shalabao, I feel like it's about counter pressure. You have these lanes like Tristana are playing very far forward and aggressive. You have a CC set up there. You always have the potential to look to punish their aggression if you know where Hacker is.
Yeah. Shalabao will jump over towards his red buff, but sees Hacker on the ward there. As Hacker trying to threaten an invade. Smite available for Shalabao. In fact, no, not an invade. He's going up towards the top side. Invincible should know this is happening because of those wards, but has to play so far up in this lane. Shalabao now finishing his red buff. He can join in on the play. Does Hacker know that he's been spotted? I don't think he does. Goes in spider form to try and escape. No spiderlings. Will keep him safe. Cocoon available. Shalabao dodges it.
Yeah, again, that's just one of like pretty much the only overall nuisance of the Elise is those spiderlings able to absorb that sonic whip. Hell, even if like a shock blast came through, I guess depending on how close you are, an accelerated shock blast would still do quite a bit of damage. But yeah, able to utilize those. Shalabao not able to find exactly what he wants. But Hacker he knows what he wants. And he wants to make an impact in this top lane. Him and Xiaolongbao going face-to-face once again.
They've given up on farming at this point. It's just a duel between the junglers. And Hacker winning out the trade at very least. The red buff in play, though, means Xiaolongbao should have a decent amount of regen. This keeps going. A hook down to the bottom side, but no significant follow-up from Photic. He just wants his minions.
Not going to be able to find anything off this play. But like we said, bot lane, not really the place to watch anyway. None of the cool kids hanging out in the bot lane these days. It's about the Elise Renekton, Tristana, his Pout. Actually putting some pressure on. And that's what we talked about with Tristana's of, you know, sometimes overstaying or overstepping. KR actually taking a turret shot. Going to give Pout a good position in terms of that HP advantage.
Would you say he needs to be a little more careful?
I would say he needs to call his jungler, say, hey, you're a jungler, therefore you are gank my lane.
Invincible might die as Fearness getting close to his Q. What? Invincible somehow hits out Fearness.
That made no sense.
I don't know what just
made no
happened
sense.
to the top side. Hacker now moving down to the bottom lane. Is Zhuo in all kinds of trouble. Flash available, but I don't think he's getting out of this one. The Cocoon lands, and they'll give the kill over to Lwx.
I'm still just kind of in shock of that, top lane.
That was just a strange trade.
It was just so like anticlimactic in terms of how it was built up.
It was like Fearness just kind of stopped hitting him. He just got knocked back and just died.
I love that's going to be the call that's clipped and put on Twitter as well. You know, it's going to be, yeah. I also want to go back in time and say, I don't think junglers are beneath laners. And, you know, let's trade. Here we go. We get to see Fearness slice and dicing in. I mean, get some good damage, and then, yeah, kind of walks forward like he's going to go for the auto. Looks like he clicks back, decides not to, and then just kind of caught in this hodgepodge, which allows for the kiting to come through, as we're going to see here. Zhuo getting chunked incredibly low, and I mean, just Hacker able to walk through, connects the Cocoon, and makes sure that the kill goes down.
Oh, Hacker caught out there by Zhuo, but the Spiderlings keeping him safe, couldn't be pulled back in. What a weird game this has been. There was some, I mean, the fact that that gank just stroll in and take yourself a kill without even
like the pacing is very weird. It feels like these are things that you would see not amount to kills in like 90% of games.
Yeah.
And here we are, 1-1.
Yeah. But Invincible very happy with the way that one's going. Has himself a bit of a CS lead. Still that kill before. Will continue to snowball that on. Fearness having to go for this plated steel caps up at the top side just to be able to keep himself safe there. His Care now could be in a compromising position. Xiaolongbao in his brush. Hacker moves up to the top side. Fearness attempt number 2 onto the Jayce. Can Invincible do it again? Yes, he can! And he dodges the Cocoon! Hacker's 2 levels down. I don't know if Hacker can win this one. Uses the Venomous Bite here. The Repel gets it back into play. Hacker flashes into the brush. Invincible 1v2. Can he find a Shock Blast? Can he find the miracle shot? The Cocoon doesn't land. Full range. And he does it! Invincible! It's exactly that!
Invincible coming in over Rich at the start of the split, and now showing us in these 1v2s why he's here. Beautiful play coming from the Jayce.
Is he trying to execute to the minions? I don't think he can get away with it.
Nope.
Oh, there we go. He goes down. Care takes him in the end.
He did his best.
Yeah. I'm surprised. I guess he must have been TP'd behind or something. No, there was no TPs. How did he get in that spot where he couldn't escape?
Maybe we, oh wait, we're not actually gonna get to see is, we're just gonna replay of the 1v2 kill coming through, building up as he gets stunned down, gonna chase through and fall through as his Conqueror gets stacked up, goes for the Q, didn't even need the E there to finish that one off, it was just enough damage. You highlighted the sidestep of the Cocoon, and then here we go. Looks like it was a Q coming out that was just able to equalize that health trade, and now waiting for the cooldowns. Doesn't want to eat both spells coming through, but knows he can at least eat the Spider. Because we actually have some action going on in bot lane.
Yeah, arrow lands. Jojo in all kinds of trouble. Already down. Draw finding that one. His Lwx stacked up. Might just be able to turn this one around. Photic forced to flash. Lwx doesn't follow it. And in the meantime, Xiaolongbao finding Fearness. But won't be able to commit to anything. a close one in the bottom side for Photic. If he has his W available, perhaps could look for Lwx under the tower here.
All of this coming about while FPX's top side were at least guaranteeing themselves a Rift Herald. Is it going to stop the invade from coming through because Care still coming from base?
Shalom going for the blue buff. And Hacker will have to back away. Got Herald in the meantime. Let's take another look at what actually happened here.
Oh, actually goes right next to him. Gets the auto out to get the stun on through. Nice chain CC there. As Shosho trying to play right next to his AD carry to potentially block some of the CC. And just ends up sending him to his downfall.
I like what you did there. Chain CC, because it was the chain of corruption after Nautilus hit him with the anchor on the end of the chain. Like, good bit of wordplay there, Lyric. I like it. I like it.
Yeah, you know.
Definitely intentional.
Now, we need to keep our eyes on what intention FPX have with this Rift Hill. Where do they go? Who do they want to give the money to? Because when we look at the lanes, they haven't like, I guess mid they've been able to maintain some pressure, so that would be where your mind kind of jumps to of an easy area. Both top and a little bit so bot. Bot looks like they've gotten one play, but haven't really been able to maintain push in those lanes.
Oh, Care, good flash, keeps up alive, dodges Sonic Wave.
Sidestep.
Yeah, well played by Care. The kick goes in. Shalabao doesn't quite connect to the target though. Shalabao about to go down. Care gets the reset, zips away and keeps himself alive. Hacker looking for more. Onto Pout here. No flash available for Pout. The laser comes out from Lwx to grab himself a bonus kill.
And now that the Rift Herald that they can drop in mid lane, get even more gold onto Care. And I would have been so frustrated if Care went down after how much he dodged out, how he flashed away, used the ultimate. All really just well played by him. Gold well earned. Is Chin's corruption?
Yeah, answered immediately by the lightning crash of Lwx. Hacker into the lane to all the targets. Cocoon will be available. It lands. The damage is there. And it's a huge Zeri from Lwx. It's a huge Tristana from Care. And it's a huge lead for FPX.
Yeah, FPX 3K gold in advantage. Again, setting themselves up for potentially another win in the split. We're going to see here Care getting hit by the E-Flash. Cast comes out really like, you need to be so on point to time that perfectly, sidesteps the Sonic Wave, and then doing a nice job to kite them out. Ult comes out immediately. That's the most impressive thing in these plays, right? It's just how quickly he is able to react once, you know, he is not CC'd or once someone jumps in. Great reaction timings.
Yeah, reaction timings and also the presence of mind to flash, not even necessarily towards your jungler, but on the right side of the play to get to your jungler. Not like if he flashes towards the tower, he can dodge the barrel, but he's straight into shallow back.
I like that you say this as well, because a lot of times in League of Legends, it's not even just about reaction times. Like, it's about anticipating this stuff and like knowing what your champion's doing, what play they're looking for, so you can be able to do that. It's a lot about that presence of mind.
Yeah. Fantastic stuff coming out from Care. He's had an impressive series today. Absolutely dominating in game number 1 and now looking good in the Tristana for game 2 as well. Kraken Slayer already finished. 30 stacks left on his cull. He's feeling good about how this one's going. NIP did get the first Drake for themselves, but the next one's spawning in 30 seconds. I don't think they're going to have a look in.
No. Oh, Pout and Care going to meet up.
Pout is maybe doomed on this one as Care just keeps this rolling. Ult available.
Oh!
Jumps in, gets the reset, jumps out. And Pout is being schooled in the mid lane as Care dodges yet another Q.
I love how he shows no emotion as he just does that, dodges out on the Sonic Wave and walks out, building this lead even further. I love how FPX have been playing this like early mid game. I do want us to bear in mind the fact that even if NIP fall behind, I don't think they're ever out. They have a ton of range to play with. And I mean, look at FPX's comp. Like, really nothing they can do, you know, when arrows and accelerated shock blasts are just flying in their face.
Yeah.
So it's going to be on FPX to be able to keep this up, to start moving Care around the map, and I really think breaking structures down.
Yeah, and they're doing exactly that as Care TPs to the top side to try and contest this Jayce. Pout moving into the mid lane. I mean, well, moving into the jungle, I suppose, but no idea that Care was there.
Even just the perfect time of the rocket jump. As wait, we have a 2v2 kill in bot lane. Zeri.
Oh, wow. Okay. Lwx down. That's kind of a big deal. He had a shutdown, I believe.
You know, we've had a lot in this series of like the action where we are in a replay And these teams, these teams not wanting to take their foot off the gas pedal. Nice response by NIP as well. They've needed something, starting to give over kills to FPX without being able to find trades in return.
Good little trade from Invincible onto Care there, not giving him the opportunity to respond in kind with damage of his own. And it feels like FPX, like you say, a small advantage for themselves, 2,000 gold at this point, but it's not enough where they can just, you know, put everything on cruise control and slowly win the game. They still have to be on their best foot here. As the replay in the bottom right, I mean, Lwx just...
Photic playing in the brush.
Yeah.
Nice by him to set up the trap play for Lwx and, I mean, hit the chains of corruption, right? If that misses, that play potentially doesn't go on through. But now here we are, second Herald spawning. You can see FPX have already allocated members up here. And when you look at both top laners, Invincible, no TP, but Fearness does have his available. So FPX should be feeling pretty confident about looking for this one, which is why NIP are actually looking to punish Fearness in the bottom lane.
Fearness not leaving the tower here. Dominus available, pops it immediately to try and keep himself alive. The CC chain is just too much for him. Take him down. Couldn't even get his Q off for healing. It's just permanently stunned.
Yeah, I mean, the kick coming on through into the hook. Zhuo didn't even need to use his ult either. Just enough burst damage coming off those first 2 bits of CC to be able to make sure that one goes through. So at least NIP will be able to answer this turret in bottom lane that FPX were just able to find. Looks like FPX might even still be staying around to keep more pressure on.
They've got Herald. They're going to look for a tier 2 here. They might not even need Herald to get the tier 2. So NIP, sure, you do get a kill and a tower in the bottom side, but it's traded for 2 towers on that top side. Fearness TPing in just to defend his tier 2 tower. Will keep it alive for the time being as Invincible trying to put that pressure on.
Yeah, utilizing TP from base, so having a lot of value in NIP not trying to equalize that gold lead, because talking about gold, 2 items on Care now. Bloodthirster picked up, and I mean, ever since the buffs came through for it, we've seen how much everyone has loved it. Pretty much, it's almost universally becoming like second item on so many of these like early marksman champions. And now Care can be able to not only sustain, but also still keep up that demolition service that I feel like Tristana always brings to the Rift.
Yeah, it's like Tristana, Ziggs, and Caitlyn. The 3 demolishers in the game, right? They just absolutely shred towers. And Care certainly bringing that to the bottom lane now. He did mid lane. He's done top lane. Time for this bot lane tier 1. And you can see Hacker immediately moves over to support the play. Jojo here trying to get vision as good cocoon, but no follow-up. But 4 people answering from NIP. And now a TP up towards the top side. I think NIP realizing they can't actually protect the tower.
No, and I want us to go back to items just to hone in on, like, we highlighted Care having 2, so whole item up over his opposition, but Photic is the same. Photic having the Ginsus, he's a full item up over Lwx, so teams really have just gotten and found, you know, their gold in different places so far.
Yeah. This might be another tower if Care can get some autos in. Won't happen though to demolish the bomb, sorry. Not going to be able to finish the tower off, but not far off. More autos on the next wave would do the job. It's just whether or not you can risk sticking around. Pout might be being too confident in the bottom side. Has to dash away, and that'll be the end of the tower. So another tier 2 taken by FPX. If there's one thing this team is doing well, it's snowballing off they really need.
Yeah, they're doing a great job of also knowing what they're comp strong at, playing for the sieges on these turrets. They once again have a composition that can do a pretty fast Baron if they could ever get into a position where they can hoodwink NIP into being on that bottom half of the map. So I'm very interested to see how, if FPX can continue this momentum and keep recreating some of the things that they did very well in game number 1.
Yeah, it would be impressive if they could do it. Just 2 games back-to-back like that. Lwx, Shield Bow, and now a Phantom Dancer finished off as well. Zeri getting close to coming online, just needs that Infinity Edge to really start hammering home. But NIP, off the back of the resets from FPX, should be able to get themselves their second Drake. It's only going to be that Cloud Drake, so not the end of the world for FPX, but a good little pickup for NIP nonetheless. Any objective is going to be very much well received on the side of NIP at this point.
Still should have a decent time trying to turtle and deny any plays from coming down. It's not like FPX. Like, FPX have great siege, but at the same time, NIP have wave clear, NIP have ways to prevent them from coming onto these structures unless they're able to use like tempo and a turn to be able to get there first. So for NIP now, I think it's about trying to get a defensive vision line down, try and be able to actually take some of your own jungle camps, not allow the siege to go through, and again, buy time for that damage to come out, especially from Invincible. He really is the key player I'm looking at for NIP, not only because of his kills, but again, just any champion on the side of FPX, if they take an accelerated shock blast, will be happy.
Absolutely. And I mean, the fact that Invincible has been playing so well on this this game, like you can have faith that he's going to find those shock blasts, and it's what the response will be from FPX. The one thing I will say is, with now that Bloodthirster and the shield bow for Lwx and Care, if they tank the blasts, like Lulu shield's coming in, the life steal coming in, maybe they can just sustain. It's just if you're in a standoff in River, Drake's not up yet, it's nothing to life steal off.
Yeah, I think especially at this point where, you know, we haven't gotten like Serelda's Grudge or any of those territories, they'll definitely be able to just be able to eat those. It's just the game goes later, and like you're saying, like where it's happening. Even if it happens in jungle, we saw last game where it's like, oh, my Gromp's gone, my Wolves are gone, like where do I go? You have to go lifesteal off the objective that you want to fight over, and that could potentially put you in a situation where, you know, the enemy team now has engage angles or more poke angles or whatever it is. So yeah, keeping our eyes on Invincible. We know for FPX, we've highlighted it has been Care that we are watching. As with Baron up now, I wonder how confident FPX are of maybe not even rushing it, but just trying to bait in front of it, since I feel like they are still the comp that feels a little bit more pressure on their shoulders. Again, sure, Lwx and Care will be huge damage-wise the later the game goes on, but I want to see how they do in these extended standoffs.
Care, speaking of him, almost caught there, but has a blast cone now. Will keep himself safe. NIP will not lose a 20-minute Baron twice in a row. This time fully aware of the situation, fully aware of that part of the map. Scuttle Crab to keep vision on the area. Fearness pressuring in the bottom side. And now is the point, I think, in the game where FPX is like, okay, how do you keep the pressure up? What do you do to pull them apart so you can continue to pressure onto these towers? Because we talked about Elise earlier, doesn't do so hot in the late game. The Renekton as well, one of those champions that, you know, can influence the game later on, but not exactly known for that being his strength. It's like, does this composition just start to stall out if they can't keep the ball rolling?
I think they're finally just starting to realize what they need to do, which is utilize Care more in sides and trying to rotate first and like find maybe a fast collapse on mid lane. If Gragas ever oversteps answering the Tristana, well, you have the Elise, you can like kind of play her in between and find the pick, but Tristana definitely gonna be able to push those waves in a lot faster and have Gragas on the back foot.
Coon landed, but that's a hook onto Chocho. Wagro's immediately used, but Chocho should go down in. No flash down the top side of the fight. Shalabao sacrifices his own life to finish the kill on the enemy support. That's a shock blast and a half onto Lwx. It's not enough from NIP with the jungler down.
I mean, overall in favor of FPX is trading support for jungle, but this is what we were hitting on. The extended standoffs where NIP's comp just feels like it will be able to do more. That one accelerated shock blast really is a bit of a game changer here in terms of what FPX will be able to look at. So NIP going to be able to hold strong, keep pressuring, and now they'll manage to be able to pick up their own jungle camps, which we saw for a little bit being choked down from FPX, well, by the side of FPX.
Let's take a look as you can see Shalabao tried to check it earlier with the Sonic Wave, it was dodged. Coon lands, but then this hook controls.
Oh wait, Munch, I don't care about this replay because we do have a Baron going on. With Baron going on by FPX, and it doesn't look like it's answered.
They just two-man Baron.
They do it again! They do it again!
Care and Hacker just two-man Baron. And NIP had no idea that it was going on. Once again, FPX just absolute heist on the top side of the map. Drake coming up in 20 seconds, but I mean, if I'm FPX, I don't care about the Drake. Just start pushing towards inhib.
I just imagine NIP and Baron having a really bad breakup. NIP have the emo fringe right now. They're sitting in their room. They're listening to some like Thursday or First EP, My Chemical Romance or something, and they will not go back to Baron first. They don't want to even remember Baron.
No.
They won't watch the movies. They watch.
If Baron wants to be part of NIP's team, then Baron has to come to them.
Exactly.
Okay? Drake coming up though. 7,000 on the health bar, and FPX not going to give this one up without a fight. Not playing towards the lanes here. They want the objective. Fearness trying to move forward, trying to tank them for his squad as the shot blast goes wide, the laser goes wide. Skill shots galore, but it's FPX forcing NIP away. Sonic Wave there for Shalabao as the Dragon resets a hook onto Fearness. He jumps into the Gordon and keeps himself alive. LWX over the wall, finds one, it's two on the side of NIP though, but LWX is stacking on up and he wants more. Drain taken regardless of the picks, and now Pout and Photic corralled in. 3v4, but somehow it feels like FPX have the advantage.
I honestly feel like NIP, I just don't know if they didn't realize waiting for that ult to time out, because they definitely should be able to win.
Invincible, that bomb is going to do a lot of damage. Needs to stay away from Photic there. Invincible 1 HP, but walks away with his life.
Like, had NIP just turned, hit a hook onto LWX, he would just be dead.
Yeah. Care try to pressure. This is such a weird situation, but FPX not going to go down without a fight. Invincible! The wild growth across the team. What a play from FPX! They take NIP apart. LWX picked out of the base, but it doesn't matter. Just Care got the reset. 4 kills in a 3v5.
That was honestly one of the best plays we've seen this year. Just the confidence to 2 members, 2 marksmen, 2 AD carries, jump into 4 members of NIP. They're going to take an inhib. They have a wave on bot. They're just going to be able to keep demolishing the base of NIP.
I mean, LWX literally putting his body on the line, jumping in, using the wild growth from Jojo to knock up the whole squad, find those kills. Mid and hip down, they decide against over pushing in the bottom side because everyone respawning now for NIP. But yeah, I mean, just watch this slow-mo and take in the glory.
I feel like there's no words that can do this justice. Yeah, his body like Care. Care actually jumped in first, but LWX is timing it right and then going with the knockup, like you said, with the wild grow. I love it. I love the confidence. I love that they can like read the angles. They know they have the amount of burst necessary to be able to do it. Yeah. And then like the health bars were low enough for the members of NIP. Because I believe it was Pout who was on like 20% of his HP. It looked like Zhuo was like 60%. It's like, sure, it doesn't even matter if like people like Photic still are quite healthy. We have enough burst to take out these members first, and then we have a numbers advantage.
Yeah. Oh, kick onto Fearness here. Could be in trouble. Is the Renekton, so has a bit of sustain as he's kicked back and will be taken down, but it took them so long to bring him down that the lightning is in tow now. Photic with a bomb on his head surely falls, and the resets are there. Pout next on the chopping block. A triple for LWX as FPX doing a victory lap in the base here. Invincible retreats to Fountain. But will FPX let him live? I'm not so sure that they will. LWX over the Nexus. In comes Care as well. And the unofficial Quadra comes on through. FPX dominate NIP.
Great to see Jojo, who's only recently joined the team, come in. And now FPX be able to pick up another win. FPX now 2 series wins on the board. Care looking incredibly hyped. LWX looking really good. And somehow FPX mostly looking unfazed.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when you've got a lead like that in the early game when you're mid laner, you're expecting the win, but even still, like, I feel like we're more excited about that win than they are.
Yeah, and it was one of those things where, right, we were talking about how one of NIP's ways to come back in would be like extended standoffs and utilizing things like the accelerated shock blast. I love